it's what he puts in every day. You know, the confidence comes from hours in the gym. So you go in the morning, the ball's bouncing its break. You go in there late at night, ball's bouncing its break. So nobody cares more than break. And you know, in life, you can either be a victim or you can, you know, chest up, head out, let's go. And I thought that's what he did tonight. So he's more than a shooter. He scores 25 points and only makes 2 threes. So I think when Brakefield gets aggressive, our team is much better.
Question for Coach.
Saw him out there warmed up. Cisse had jersey on, warm-up shirt on. Is there an update? What's the update with him?
Yeah, there is an update, and I kept my word with you guys because the timing of this, we literally found out right before the game, minutes, not hours. And so, yeah, Musa's been cleared to play, so we're pleased with that. I know I told you guys I would tell you as soon as we knew, and I literally knew right before the game. So probably not prepared right now to say everything that we feel about that and stuff. So I'll make sure we get organized, and I'll be ready to speak very clearly tomorrow. But obviously, happy for Musa, and you know we support Brandon as he goes through the same process. But extremely happy for Musa.
Just to clarify, Brandon's process is still ongoing.
Yeah, Brandon's going through the NCAA process exactly, and I'll tell you guys as soon as I know something on that too. Unless it's an hour before the game, and I don't really have time to hold a quick press conference.
Going back to the game, they seemed like they made things a little bit interesting kind of late in that first half to kind of find success underneath and I think cut it to a couple of possessions. But how are you proud of the way that your team just came out in the second half to just really just make things comfortable again?
Yeah, we guarded tonight. I mean, that's our defense. Look, we had some fortune. They got a lot of three-point shots, but I think you got to give us credit for pressuring a lot of those shots. We definitely had some fortune, but you know, in basketball, I think you create your fortune. Our guys were playing extremely hard. Some of those shots were game plan based, and guys did a good job for the most part. You know, from where I was sitting before I watched the film, I thought we played 33, 34 minutes of Ole Miss basketball, and that's a promising thing because at this point, I think we've been hovering around the 20, 25-minute mark. So, you know, we'll have to get to the point where we can play 40 minutes of Ole Miss basketball, where this season's going and where we want to be. But tonight was definitely a step in the right direction, you know, against a quality opponent.
That's an ACC team that was in the NCAA tournament a year ago. What can a win like this do for, I guess, perceptions of the program that you're trying to build right now?
I understand the question, respect it, but that's a question for the people that have perceptions about our program. Like internally, you know, we came to Ole Miss to win. We recruited players that want to win. We work hard every day. It's early in our journey. We never said we were going to be a finished product in November, December, maybe even January. And so we're just getting better every day. But what I can tell you is we have very high expectations in our locker room, a lot of confidence in our players, our staff, our process, our culture. And so tonight, you know, I think we played well at home. We played great defense. We had some personal, individual players step up. That's what this is, college basketball players game. We had a great week of practice. You know, the guys that don't sit up here every day, whether it's Muggs or Cole or Cam, and these guys did a great job on our scout team this week. I thought it was probably our best week of preparation and practice. And so just a lot of things went into the night, and I had a pretty good feeling we'd play well, and I was just glad I was right.
Chris, I know it's a little bit off the rip for you, but just what you've seen 6 games in, what does Musa bring? What's he going to add for this team?
Yeah, Musa's a talented player. I don't think his height defines him. He's obviously an athlete, defensive player of the year in the Big 12, and a talented guy. But in recruiting and getting to know him and working with him now since the summer, he's a basketball player. I think he can do a lot of things on the court other than the things that people think of when you think of Musa. He's a high-character person. He's been in a tough situation these games, and he's actually been an unbelievable leader. He stopped practice the other day and brought the guys in. He's been vocal on the bench, halftime, as has Brandon. So I think with some adversity, you know, waiting to see when the decision will be made, he did a great job staying intact. And so that's another thing about his character. He's a leader. He's a competitor. He's a smart guy. And he's a really good basketball player. He'll make our team better.
It's been a couple, played a game tonight, but we haven't seen you since the Temple game. Just what did you learn about that first road trip with your team up there?
Let me take a deep breath. I pretty much direct mine. I don't even know what day it is, but today's Tuesday. Yeah, Temple, obviously first road game of the season. Didn't play our best basketball, but we did have some poise and have some individual moments in that game. We learned a lot about our team. I think anytime you can take your team away, play on the road, you learn a lot about yourself, a lot of valuable tape in that game. We had probably 4 chances in that game to blow it open and get control over the game, and we didn't do that, so we had a learning curve there. I think that probably paid some dividends tonight where we had the game under control, and we increased the lead a little bit tonight, had some spurts, so that's a sign of maturity. But the first road game, it's always good to win on the road in college basketball, and we learned a lot about our team that night.
Just kind of on the flip side.
Also had a really good cheesesteak. Went to the Rocky statue. A lot of respect for Coach Chaney and everybody that built the Temple program. So it was kind of a historic basketball trip too. We educated our guys on Temple and Philadelphia and the whole Rocky deal. Couldn't have been better. Bus pulls up and it's raining. Some of the young guys, they're looking around like, are we really going to do this? The guys that understand who we are, they heck yeah, we're going to do this. So we ran up the steps in the rain and had a pretty good time.
kind of
Cheesesteak was really good. As good as advertised. It really was. I like the cheesesteak when they're in segments, not the whole thing, so it doesn't get sloppy. So it's in segments. It's like, it's like 3 segments. And I'm a no onion guy. Half of them were with onions, half of them weren't. It was a morale boost. Yeah, I've never seen like Wayne Case so happy. He was jumping around like Ted Lasso when he had a taste of the cheesesteak.
Kind of on the flip side of the waiver topic, I know with Brendan's decision still looming, all that, just kind of how have you seen him kind of handle himself? I know you talked about the professionalism that he's carried over, just before the season, just not knowing what's kind of going on, but have you seen himself kind of carry himself as a leader despite, not really, being able to see the court?
Yeah, those 2 guys have been great, Brandon and Musa, and a lot of open communication with both of them and still do, and just talked about controlling what you can control. They couldn't control the time frame, but what they could control is what they do in their 24 hours every day. And, our guys sleep somewhere between 8 to 10 hours. That leaves, 14 hours, 16 hours left. And I thought both those guys did a great job, just staying focused, even though they weren't playing in games, staying committed to the process and getting better, being great teammates. Both guys are killing it right now academically too. Super proud of that. And those guys did great. Obviously, a lot of adversity, and your life is playing college basketball. It's on pause for a minute. A lot of respect for how those 2 guys handled it, and Brandon still is.
Any more questions for Coach? All right. Thanks,
Thank you, folks.